Who's that dude? And what's he about, right?
Right? I heard he's a runner.
What's up with that?
I don't know. I hear that song from Hobo Johnson. I don't know anything about him, but he sounds like a crazy man. And wait, he just joined us in studio here at the Kevin B.
Hello.
Hobo.
How's it
What's
going?
up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Early morning, but I'm feeling good.
At least you didn't have a show last night, right?
I did.
Oh, right. I know.
Played the Wiltern, and it was quite fun.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you playing an iconic venue like the Wiltern at this stage of your career?
It was weird. It was weird just walking down in the green room and it being this like wonderful, beautiful place, and I just feel like out of place, to be honest.
Somebody's going to know that you're a fraud and take you out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes people look at me like, "Why are you walking around?"
I mean, so much of your career has been do-it-yourself, some DIY. It's like this is a completely different feel for you. Does it feel the same as when you started in Sacramento?
It's definitely a little bit different. Like the shows, the production-wise, they're more like shows, like what people go to and pay money for. So
Does that feel like pressure?
Yeah, definitely. And last night I was kind of like getting kind of nervous, So.
But you always sound nervous, so that's the good news. Every song, you sound like you're barely hanging on.
My default state, I think.
Barely hanging on.
Bean did argue yesterday. He thinks that Hobo Johnson's the only guy who's ever put out an album where he's fully whispering for a whole record.
Here's what I said, Hobo. I said, you sound like when you're recording, like you're on the phone, but trying not to make too much noise because you're in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you don't want to disturb any of the other diners.
It's 11 p.m. and his parents are asleep.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It gives me anxiety to listen to your records. Look, I think you are a brilliant lyricist, and you really are. You get across your songs beautifully.
He's not joking in that part.
I'm not.
Thank
I
you.
think you're brilliant.
I
I really
that.
do. I'm a huge fan, and we'll tell you how we came to know your music here in a second. But I get anxious when I listen to you. I mean, is there anxiety in your music?
Yeah, I'm a pretty anxious person in general. So yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of people say that actually, and I think it's some songs like Typical Story, the one that you just played. That's a pretty anxious song, but there's some other songs that are more, chill, a little piano. So it's kind of
true. You do have a lot of styles on your albums, which I really appreciate. Jensen, why don't you take some credit for introducing Hobo to at least us here on the Kevin Beat Show?
Yeah, he had been around for quite some time, but I had been turned on to his music when he did this Peach Scone viral video years ago. Which is great. And from there, I've just been following because I'm always obsessed with people who are trying to push a genre. Like, there is no way that you could say that Hobo stuff is just rap or just all.
You can't put him in any box.
Yeah, you can't. You literally can't. And I guess that was what I brought into KROQ, saying like this is the stuff we should be playing more often, and also be sort of like broadening what alternative music is. Are your influences, Hobo? Do they range from that? Are they hip hop all the way to rock?
Yeah, definitely. I really like Chance the Rapper. He's one of my favorite musicians and Bright Eyes. So
those are two different completely
yeah.
different people.
Wow. Yeah,
well,
so
great though.
I think it culminates in whatever weird thing I do.
Yeah, because I hear Suicidal Tendencies, which might not even be a group you know a lot about.
No.
Yeah, see, that's always
really
crazy to me.
Yeah.
When you're like, that sounds like Suicidal Tendencies, and the person who did it goes, I have no idea who you're talking about. I've never heard of them, ever.
And maybe you're an artist who doesn't like being compared to other artists, but I think this is a fair comparison, and I've thought this a lot listening to music. Early Beck.
Yeah,
I hear a lot of early Beck in you.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I think it's like the folky, rocky, hip hoppy stuff. Yeah,
that's with a twinge of crazy.
Yeah,
which I love.
Yeah.
That I love.
Hobo, let's talk about your living situation. You did for reals live in your Toyota?
For real.
For how long? And what were the circumstances that why?
So I moved into it was basically my stepmom's house at the time. Who was married to my dad. So then I lived in their house. We kind of had a falling out, a couple problems, and then he kicked me out, and I didn't really have anywhere to go. So I lived in a 1994 Toyota Corolla. It was just over a month or somewhere around a month. It wasn't too long, but in that period of time, I made and produced and wrote my first album that I really released.
And literally recorded it in the car.
And that's when you're working at a pizza
living in
place,
the car.
right?
I worked at a pizza place, and then I would go. I slept outside of a 24-hour fitness, and I would charge my laptop.
That's
at
the
work.
worst place.
I know, but it's safe. It's safe. At least the one in Sacramento, because you can park in a nook, and no one really goes in there.
But I would pick a place no one's going to all night long.
Well, you gotta. It's nice because sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and have to go to the bathroom and
right.
not the easy one.
I'd be a terrible hobo.
Yeah, so, yeah, you'd smell bad.
Yeah.
What was the best part of living in a car?
If you're trying to put a positive spin on it,
Let's try. Everybody thinks it's terrible. I'm just saying, was there something that you enjoyed?
You always
There
know
was.
where the lighter is?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
You never lose your car in a parking lot.
Exactly. The best part was the first 3 or 4 days, because it was really this moment of me like telling myself like I can do it by myself and I need no one else other than myself. So that went away after a few days where I just got pretty
I need a
sad
bed.
and depressed. Yeah.
That was 3 days of great thinking. But
So, where did you get money to then find a place to live?
I just like saved up. I moved to a place called Oak Park in Sacramento, which was the cheapest rent I could find. My rent in Sacramento for a Craigslist room was $300.
Wow.
Okay,
So
that's low.
I could work like 10 hours a week or something.
Yeah. And your second album you recorded on your laptop?
Yeah, everything I've done on my laptop's pretty much. Even the newest album, I like produced like 80% of it, 75% of it.
But remember, he being homeless is rough, but not as rough as being a Sacramento Kings fan.
I was thinking. I was wondering.
I heard you guys
harsh.
say that
What
last
he
time.
is brutal.
that is rough.
That is
brutal,
tough.
yeah.
How you dealing with that?
Dude, it's pretty tough, especially when you talk to people from LA. It's like you guys don't even understand.
Well, listen, I was a Clippers fan, so it'll turn around.
That makes sense.
Eventually. I have a question too. Listening to the new record, it seems like you went through a pretty heavy breakup in it.
Yeah.
But then I read recently you got back together with her.
No, different.
Okay, different girl.
I got into another relationship.
The Hobo Johnson love life seems complicated.
It is,
Which makes great music.
Yeah. It was my first real relationship, so I think that's why I wrote so much about it, and then kind of just fell apart.
We're talking to Hobo Johnson here on the Kevin and Bean Show, by the way, who last night played the Wiltern Theater, and tomorrow night will be playing at the House of Blues in Anaheim. Tickets available at hobojohnson.com or livenation.com if you want to see the live show, which is intense and fun, by the way.
Yeah.
I know we don't have a lot of time, Hobo, and I feel terrible because it took you a long time to get here, but you shout out Justin Bieber on the record.
Yeah.
And as I understand from reading interviews and stuff, part of that was because you guys have had a sort of similar situation in that you kind of...
got famous on the internet.
Got famous on the internet, right? And there's pluses and minuses for that. How are you adjusting to being somebody who now has fans and admirers and people who are interested in your personal life,
Especially on like a major label situation.
Yeah, and you're gonna be on the Kimmels and shows like that. I mean, your life is changing week to week right now. How's that affecting you?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. A lot of it is, I think the toughest part is the general criticism that you get from so many people.
Yeah.
And for me, like, for some reason, people either hate me with a passion or like me.
And that means you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, it means
By
I'm
the
doing
way.
something different, I
Yeah.
think. So it's
Yeah.
like, that's the toughest part for me to handle. And, like, I've been getting better at it, but, like, the thicker skin I grow, I think the less sensitive a person I am. And, like...
So you don't want
Let's
that
be-
necessarily.
No, exactly, because I'm trying to, like... feel
Artistically,
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like it's definitely a weird balance, but I just like don't go on the internet at all pretty much
When
anymore.
Bean and
You know
I
what?
started, we got 3 to 4 years of hate, and you've ruined this station. 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
And that was when people had to write letters.
And give it to the
Oh
Pony
my
Express, and then that guy would drop it off.
That's crazy.
I mean, it does force you to get thicker skin. It just forces you to.
Yeah. I'm trying to work my way around it. Like I took off all internet from my phone, so I just kind of like I'm really trying to focus on like my normal life, and I bought a house.
Hey.
Oh my God!
I'm going about this like normal,
How's-
practical adult life, and like trying to see if that makes.
Guy
sense.
went from living in his car to buying a house in
Yeah.
a couple of years.
Yeah.
Bean, how long could you live without the internet? He
Not
took it
as
off
long
his
as it
phone.
took you to ask that question. I mean, honestly,
Is this a Sacramento house? Is you still-
Yeah,
okay,
East
so you're
Sacramento, East
Still,
Sacramento.
still in the hood.
Yeah.
Still where you were.
Still.
He bought the house for $450. That's your deal.
well,
Still pizza
Hobo,
money.
I hope that experiences like this one, where you walk into a room of people who are excited to meet you and genuinely are grateful for your music and happy for your success. I hope that helps a little bit to know that there are fans out there like us. And I know you run into them all the time, but we're really behind you, dude.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Seriously,
Big
and
fan.
it's a big, it's I feel dumb kind of saying this, honking our own horn. It's kind of a big deal to get played on KROQ.
Yeah.
And we're so happy to have music like yours that we can play. We love it so much.
That isn't like everything else.
That isn't like everything else.
That's
exactly.
important. You know?
Yeah, that's rad to me. I've heard of KROQ for so long too, and like breaking so many bands, so it's It's great to be here. I'm sorry that I was late, but
No,
not
He's
at all,
probably
man.
the sweetest young man ever.
Look,
First
we're
of
just
all,
gonna have to kick
he
you right back out,
ran,
but what?
He ran in here literally from the parking lot.
Because there was some 3-car pileup we hear. There was something
Yeah.
on the freeway.
that he caused, but whatever.
He
Right?
ran across the
Yeah.
freeway after an argument with the Uber driver.
I'm late too. I can't put it all on that.
All right, man. Well, listen, keep in touch. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate
and
it.
Everybody, stream, buy, get somehow
Yeah.
both of the Hobo records. They're really, really good. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Thank you.
On your drive home today, listen to a commercial-free 5 p.m. hour, random act of helpfulness in the SoCal Helpful Honda dealers. Tomorrow morning, Chance the Rapper.
What?
You want to stick for 24 hours?
If you want to just
What?
stay here, yeah, you can sleep in the corner. You're used to that.
Bean makes us guess. Steve Gorman, the drummer for the Black Crowes, wrote a book. We're going to talk to him
It's
about
good.
that. And Kevin and Bean's Last Breakfast with Green Day. Your tickets tomorrow.
It's the Kevin and Bean Show.